screaming from an old timeline why you can't hear them anymore. Welcome back. I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Destiny Swapping series. Let's talk about what happens when people from your past keep trying to reach you, but energetically, the line is dead. No matter how loud they get, no matter how manipulative the message, no matter how dramatic the display, you don't respond, not because you're bitter or cold, but because you don't live on that timeline anymore. What they don't realize is that the version of you they used to manipulate, guilt, provoke, or control no longer exists. That version expired the moment you healed the pattern they were feeding off of. And now, they're screaming from an old address. You're not ignoring them. You're simply not present. You moved, and they don't know how to function without your reaction. This is the part most people miss. Energetic warfare doesn't always look like an attack. It often looks like familiar behavior, trying to pull you back into a version of yourself you've outgrown. The bad boyfriend who knows which button to push. The manipulative parent who dangles approval. The ex-friend who circles back with a guilt trip disguised as closure. But what happens when those buttons are disconnected? What happens when the emotional circuitry that used to fire no longer responds? What happens is simple. They burn themselves out. They're still playing the game, but you've left the stadium. They're still knocking, but the house is empty. They're still throwing emotional darts, but there's no target to land on. And when there's no response, no feed, no energy exchange, they wither. Because their power didn't come from who they are. It came from how you reacted. And now, without access to your attention, their system begins to collapse. Let's go deeper. Energy follows frequency. When you ascend timelines, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, you no longer exist in the same energetic location. That doesn't mean you physically disappear. It means your field, your essence, your availability has changed. It means you no longer process emotions on the same level where those interactions once had power. So when they send the evil eye, you don't flinch. When they post the passive-aggressive message, it doesn't land. When they try to provoke, you don't even feel it. Why? Because their transmission is too low to reach you. That's what energetic ascension actually looks like. Not aesthetic, not intellectual, but invisible repositioning that cuts off the old signal and leaves them screaming into silence. This is why some people become obsessed with trying to reopen the door. They'll escalate, they'll provoke harder, they'll tell others, "She changed," as if that's an accusation. Yes, you changed. That was the point. You healed the hooks. You identified the manipulation. You released the obligation to respond. And now their access is revoked, not because you're mean, but because you're no longer energetically compatible. Think of it like this. If someone keeps emailing you, but you deleted that account years ago, does it make sense for you to feel guilty for not responding? No, because it's not yours anymore. The same goes for old versions of you. When you dissolve a timeline, you don't owe the ghosts who still live there any attention. This includes people who only reach out to stir drama, exes who test your boundaries after silence, family who mask control as concern, friends who only show up to feed off your light, anyone who once had emotional leverage but lost it when you reclaimed your energy. Let's be clear. Just because they want your reaction doesn't mean they deserve your energy. And just because they're louder doesn't mean they're more right. It means they're more desperate. Because now that your energy is no longer feeding them, they have to burn their own just to get your attention. That's what makes them tire themselves out. That's what causes the frequency mismatch to widen. That's what spiritually protects you without needing to say a word. Your silence is not passive. It's positional. It is a direct result of the healing you did that they refuse to do. Let them knock. Let them project. Let them spiral. Because the truth is, they're not knocking on your door. They're knocking on an old energetic address. And no one lives there anymore. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing. And no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief Tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones, the replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans, the merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife, where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science, reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science, the end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science, gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies, engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs, birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing, printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era, the rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans, the slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities, algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies, citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans, emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning, your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech, intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.